Hello viewers at home, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do me a favor and subscribe so that when I upload new videos, you'll be the first to be notified, and I would really appreciate that. And also do well to give me a thumb up if you like the video and share it to your friends in whatever forum that you are so that they can also be a benefactor to the lessons that we will be looking at this very minute. We are going to be talking on our mental lifestyle. One thing that distinguishes a human being from an animal is their intelligence and respect. Without these two things, we are as common and ordinary as any other animal that you know of. Our focus today is going to be on the headline. The headline tells us a lot of things about our mental personality. This is the headline, this is the lifeline, like we said before, and this is the heartline. Okay, now let us say the headline is straight on the palm of this recipient. What that indicates is that this person by nature is practical, down to earth. They are also honest. It is typical of them to be honest, you know. They are not flowery with words. You know, they say things the way they are because of their mental shape as reflected on the headline. These kind of people do well in subjects like maths, physics, chemistry. They do well in the sciences generally, and they usually turn out to become engineers, you know, yes, or in those related careers. But let us say that the headline is curved a little like that. What that implies is that this set of people are creative because they tap from the creativity of the amount of moon, which is somewhere around that region. They have good interpersonal skills. They find it easy to relate with people of different characters because you can see that somewhere here the headline is somewhat straight, but then it curves down to this region. You know, these people are typically good with words, and they strive well in areas of literature and in the arts. They could do well in mass communication, they could do well in journalism, you know. They could even do well as a writer because, like I said before, they tap from the imagination and the creative side of the Mount of Moon, representing those characters. Having said that, let's now say that the headline isn't just curved, but it is steeped downwards like this. What this implies is that these people have extraordinary imaginary abilities, you know, and they do well as musicians because these people are able to attach a lot of emotion to they're able to attach a lot of emotion to their creativity, which makes them entertaining and also makes them easy to market themselves. That's what happens when the headline is sticked down in that way. Again, let us assume that the headline touches the lifeline. These kind of people are attached to their mothers. They are very careful in the things that they do. They think through their actions before they take it. And because of that, they can be indecisive many times. They find it difficult to take a decision, to take a stand on something that they intend to do. So that's the downside of having a headline that is sticked down like that. They are easily influenced by the decision of others, especially by their mothers. But they do well. They do well. Anyone who has a long headline typically, are intelligent and creative, especially if it is deep and clear, without hindrances, without cuts like crosses and bars or even stars on the headline. This would be a cross rather. But if the headline is separated from the lifeline like this, what that means is that they are more independent minded. They make decisions on their own without having to be influenced by others or told what to do by others. They are sometimes considered to be stubborn, but the good part about having such a headline separated from the lifeline is that they are risk takers. Yes, they are risk takers. They don't really mind the outcome of things because they are not overcome by their fears, and they usually turn out to be successful. This kind of lines are found on the palms of leaders and politicians. And the good thing about the recipient of this palm is that they are quick to learn. They do not need to invest so much time in studying something to have a grasp of a particular knowledge. Why? Because they are sharp, their IQs are usually high, and they do well in schools. They do well in schools in whatever subject or field of study they can be counted upon to deliver when taught. It is important that we understand the role our headline plays in our lives. Why? Because if we have children and we discover from their palms, as it will show naturally in their abilities, that they will strive well in the area of sciences, why force them to do arts? Perhaps you did arts and you're doing well and you think that is the only way. No, you could be mistaken. That is not the only way. There are several ways to success. Some may be short, some others may be longer, but they all have their rewarding system, which is satisfying. Let us assume that this headline begins with an island. Like this. The implication of an island on the headline somewhere from the mount of Jupiter, which is here, means that that recipient will suffer from an early delicate mental ability. What I mean by that is that such persons from their childhood years, from about the age 1 to 10, they will find it difficult to learn because they are easily distracted. They are easily distracted. They find it difficult to focus. And because they find it difficult to focus, they find it hard to understand and retain what is taught to them. So academically, they will struggle in school. But if they have a square, which I find in the palm of some persons, like this, that is a sign of protection and preservation. It will lessen the negative effects of the island on this line of head. What if the island comes somewhere under the Mount of Saturn? These individuals are going to suffer from a myriad of depression every now and then. Yes. And that depression will now serve as a hindrance on them to move forward, because oftentimes they will be discouraged. They will undermine their abilities to learn, to move forward, and to achieve their goals, even in the area of their career. So that is not a good sign. These recipients also suffer a lot from headache. If the island is somewhere under the Mount of Sun, these recipients will suffer from short-sightedness, weakness of eyesight, and they also have a tendency to become blind. That again is not a good sign to be found. If this island also is found under the Mount of Mercury, what that means is that at old age, perhaps at the age of let's say age of 60 to 70, they are going to suffer from what scientists refer to as cerebropathy. This is a form of mental disorder such as dementia, bipolar, and severe depression. Such depression comes in such an extent that their mental ability becomes weak. They become unstable in the way they do things. So having this kind of having this symbol of island anywhere on the headline is not a good sign to have. It is a warning of what they are either going to suffer or what they are suffering at the time being, based on your estimated calculation. Because from the headline, if the headline begins from here, you can divide it into two. Assume from here to here is 35 years. So from here to here is another 35 years, altogether 70. So if it is found here, you can estimate that between here and here, this could be age 1 to age, let me say 15. So if this island comes on the Mount of Jupiter, it means that from between 1 to 15 years, that individual will suffer mental deficiency, within that space of time. It comes as a warning in the sense that such persons should be paid more attention to, because if special classes are arranged for them, special techniques of teaching, are arranged for them, they could eventually overcome that deficiency and the island could gradually disappear. Or when they pass this phase of their lives and their lives are unhindered with bars and stars and crosses, they would rapidly improve and achieve their set goals. Now, if a headline has bars like this, so this is the headline, this is the lifeline, headline. If it has bars like this, it means that as from this age to this point in time, they are also going to suffer from financial difficulties. So that is what we have for today, and I would like to give a little recap on what we have learned today. We have learned that having islands, they could come in a very tiny shape that you might not recognize it, but are there playing some bad roles in our lives. It means deficiency in our mental ability. If it is found in the amount of Jupiter, such an individual will find learning to be difficult. He will struggle academically in school. If it's found on the mount of Saturn, that individual is going to be depressed most of the time, and he would undermine his abilities. If it is found, it also causes a lot of headache to that recipient. If it's found in the amount of sun, that individual is going to suffer from weakness of eyesight, short-sightedness, etc. If it is found under the amount of Mercury, that individual is going to suffer from weakness of the brain at old age. That individual will suffer from mental illnesses such as cerebropathy, bipolar disease, depression, dementia, etc. If the headline is attached to the lifeline, these people act spontaneously. If it's attached to the lifeline, these people are very cautious in what they do. They think carefully about the consequences of their decision before they take it. And because they think so much about it, it makes them indecisive. It makes it difficult for them to make a decision. And usually they are attached to their mothers, and their mothers could play a role of influencing their decision making, either negatively or positively. But if the headline is detached from the lifeline, they are more independent minded individuals. They are not afraid of challenges and confrontations. They are intelligent. They have a dominating personality. They are quick to grasp knowledge with minimal effort, and the ability to retain knowledge is also high. People with this kind of detached headline usually have a high IQ. So, my friends, this is what we have for today. I hope you have learned a thing or two. I'll be glad to receive questions from you. Please do well to subscribe to my channel and share it to your friends in whatever forum that they are, so that they can learn their personalities on the palm of their hands. And this is just the beginning because there is so much to learn. So see you in the next class.